Hello there, I'm Nancy Reynolds. Welcome to the last presentation of our second anniversary party for our Global USU Share Fair group. I always get those words mixed up in the wrong order. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I hope that I am actually live. Let me just take a second to refresh my computer. Make sure I'm really here, because I think I'm here. Oh, I am here. Okay, this is good. Anyway, I'm going to be the last presenter for the weekend. I can't hard to believe it's almost over. I just wanted to let you know that I'm so pleased and so happy and feel so supported these years with the way you watch and your comments. I truly have enjoyed it. And I'm hoping that you enjoy it and that you gotten inspiration. I don't know about you, but I personally am just amazed by the projects that everybody has. And I find stamp sets and supplies that I obviously need now that I didn't know I needed before. So with that said, let's see if I can entice you to the sun print set. My goodness, I love those colors, by the way. Hold on just a second. We'll put you onto the desktop. Here we are. Hi, Emily, you're watching, and Kathy, Rose, thank you for watching. I'm going to switch glasses so I can see the tabletop. You know how it goes. One pair of glasses for the computer and one pair of glasses to see everything else. Let's see. So here's our card. It is a joy fold card because it brings me joy, and it's a card I like. It's basically two cards. So you've got your focal point on the small card, and you open it up, and your sentiment is on the inside. And it just kind of flaps over. I've decorated our envelope for us, and we'll do that. But for right now, let me go over the sizes. You don't have to write these down. Oh, Emily, I'm glad you enjoyed all the presentations. Hi, Jolene. Hi, Bridgetta. Bridgetta? Pretty name. Let's go over what we're using, and then we'll go over the sizes, and then we'll get started. So I'm using the Nature's Prints. It's the Sun, as I said, it's the Sun Print suite that I have. And I totally forgot that we were supposed to have a happy anniversary sentiment or congrats. So I looked and looked and looked through my stamps and found elegantly said and have happy anniversary. So I quickly switched gears a couple days ago with my sentiments. And I also wanted to show you the technique of stamping on your DSP or your designer series paper. I did some in white, on white, and some on the designer series paper, and I like the softness the designer series paper brought to my elements. So we'll work on that. And new ribbon. You know I love glitter. And we have new glitter ribbon. It's a metallic ribbon, and it comes in all of the new in colors. So this is Starry Sky, which is what I'm featuring. I'm still using the Starry Sky Gray Granite themes. So for your large card, you need a little bit different card size. It's 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score it at 5 1/2. So you just put it in and score it at 5 1/2, and then when you fold it, let's see, it was this way, wasn't it? You just have the short side on your left, so it opens to the left. For the inside, I thought it's an anniversary party. We really have to have more sparkle. So I added a layer of the brushed metallic foils in silver. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 or 10.3 by 14.5 centimeters. Did I tell you that the card base is 10.5 by 21 centimeters? And I will have that picture of all of the measurements posted in the album that Shirley told you about, where you can find our projects and links to our videos. The designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4 or 10 by 14.2 centimeters. And I thought it had a really nice play with the Starry Sky, the Night of Navy, and the Gray Granite coloring. Then we have a small, our smaller card. Here it is. I just had my pieces mixed up. This card is 3 by 8 inches or 7 by 20 centimeters, and it is folded in half. And remember, this card is going to open to the right. So it's going to be the opposite. So it folds over. I have, again, I've got 2 each. I've got metallic. And this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8 or 6.8 by 11.4 centimeters. And the Designer Series paper, it's 6.5 times by 9.5 centimeters or 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. We did centimeters first. Oh, thank you, Susan, for liking the card, and Brigitta. Hi, Joy. Good to see you. We're going to need a piece of Designer Series paper, 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Not Designer Series paper, basic white, because we're going to have to stamp our sentiment. Or 6 by 9 centimeters. It'll go here. Here are our other 2. Actually, this is going to go here. This is going here. The other metal piece, because we've got 2 of each, the metallic and the Designer Series paper. And then my metallic and Designer Series paper that are left over, it's 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, or 6.8 by 11.1 centimeters. And they, I already took the, let's see, I can figure this out. It's 2 3/4 by 4, or 6.5 by 11.4 centimeters. Oh, there it is right there. And it goes on the front. So this is how our card goes together. And before we do any stamping or anything else, we're going to get rid of all these moving pieces. Everything is flat. We are just going to start adhering. And I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And I need wiggle room. So first we put on the metallic layer. Because they're cut, the proportions that they're cut, it should be able just to kind of line up 3 sides and have them fit. I see I already got glue on it because I had glue on my finger. And I'm using the splotchy side with all the colors. Now I'm going to tell you a secret that if you have glue on your fingers, and I learned this because I do it often, it dulls your foil. Just a little Q-tip with a little bit of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, takes care of that for you. And it's nice and shiny again. You just need to be a little bit careful. I can open this up to put it down. And I didn't reinforce my score lines, which was a mistake, because when you're doing a fun fold, you definitely want to make sure. Now that I grabbed the wrong one. I did. I grabbed the one that goes on the small card. The good news is the small card's right here. And we'll put that on. Oh, Joy, you like this fun fold too? I absolutely love it. Let's see if we can get the one that is actually the right size to go on here. Okay. Now we'll put the correct on. And I wanted a little contrast. So before I do too much more, let me reinforce that fold. Because you want your fun folds to lie as flat as possible. I decided that it needed to have just a little bit more, just making sure that I've got the right pieces. Looks like I cut that one a little bit shorter, but that just gives us more silver. Remember, there are no mistakes in card making, just opportunities to be flexible. Maybe even adding a little more bling here and there sometimes. So there we go. There's our base. On this one, again, let's open it up there. For contrast, I used the striped side. I like stripes. I couldn't decide which side I liked better, so that's why this gives us an opportunity to use both sides. At interest with contrast, we are going to stamp on that. Okay, reinforce the fold. Although it is easier to put this on when it's flat. I've got to tell you that I still get really nervous before the presentations. And since I was at 8:30 this morning in my time zone, last night I didn't sleep very well, so I got to watch Jackie Lawrence in the middle of the night from the UK. It was so nice. Oh, that's why it's wrong. Well, okay. I have made a mess. This one goes here. That one goes there. And we're just going to cut this down a little bit. I will be right back. I am actually going to verify the size of that. And it is 3 3/4 inches. See, you never know what's going to happen when you're live. It really is best to do all your trimming before you put the glue on. I will be cleaning up my paper trimmer with, and now I put the glue on the wrong side. That's okay. See, there's a reason I get nervous. Live is hard. Oh, I guess it's right. So here we go. This is where you want to be careful because you want to center it. So again, I use my multi-purpose glue. And it got a little bit carried away there. And I just kind of hold it down and look and kind of try to center it. When you've got stripes, it helps. Okay, there we are. We're going to go with it. And now we've got the basics done, so we can start stamping. The stamps are the cling stamps. And so one of the things I like to do is to stamp off. Again, we're using the colors in the paper, Starry Sky, which is so pretty, Gray Granite, and Night of Navy. I'm going to stamp the one of the stamps on this. I used Gray Granite for my larger leaf. I'm off the set, aren't I? So there's Gray Granite. These are distinctive stamps. Let's see. Let's stamp it off once, because it is also going on our sentiment. And I want it light enough that I can write on it just a little bit, and our words are going to show up. But I also want it full strength on the designer series paper. And you know what I love? I love stamp sets that come with dies. I don't mind fussy cutting, but it's so easy just to run it through this Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So there we are. It's so soft. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is a writing in the background on this. I think it is such a pretty, pretty paper. I did Starry Sky for my, I don't know, I keep thinking of that more as a wheatish look. And I think I'll put this here. And then Night of Navy for my fern. Sometimes colors are hard. Or in shapes. So here's my fern. We will Night of Navy it. Stamp it down. Oh, I didn't get a good stamping. I'm afraid that my Night of Navy might need to be re-inked. There we are. Now, what I would normally do is go over to my cut and emboss machine, but through the magic of videos and having time to prep, I have them all cut out. And I also cut out in this set with the dies, there are little things that don't have stamps, just little branches. And so I cut some of those out of the silver foil from around the edges because I thought we could use those. Again, it's a party, right? So we need to have some pretties. One other stamping. Oh, let's do the envelope. I love doing the envelope this way. And I use Starry Sky, which is also what my cardstock is. I just think it is really fun to, if I can get back on to do a spray with different colors. Yes, the envelope is going the correct direction. So I usually do one in full color, then I turn it and do a second generation. And with this, it's such a lovely color, you could do a third. And then you've got a nice spray of flowers. And I basically did the same on the back. Full strength, second generation, and third generation. There we are. So our envelope is stamped and ready to go. We need something a little on our sentiment. We need to finish up our sentiment. And because this is stamped so lightly, and Starry Sky is such a lovely, strong color. Let's see. It's going to show it beautifully. Best wishes and happy thoughts. This is another thing I really like about this set, is I love the variety of fonts. We've got some printing, and we've got a lovely, lovely fonts for our sentiments. There's also a splotch in there. Kind of matches the splotch on here. And I thought of playing with that, but I controlled myself. You can get carried away, you know. No, I can get carried away. Maybe you don't get carried away, but I can get carried away. I am just going to put a little bit of my multi-purpose glue on the back of this and center it. And I did leave a little bit larger margin on this one because I wanted to see the stripes. The last thing we're going to be doing is building our focal piece. And I'm going to get my seal. Joy, I'm glad I'm not the only one who gets nervous. Thank you, Bridgetta. I'm trying. Oh, this is fun, though. I just put a little seal down, and I kind of wanted it to hang over a little bit on the top and bottom on the large one. But you want to be careful because you don't want it to go past the top and bottom of your card because it needs to fit in the envelope. And a little more seal here. And my fern. I didn't use a lot of dimensionals this time because the card is thicker just by virtue that there are two cards together. So it's a little thicker to begin with. What I did next was I grabbed my Now I know I got those out. I grabbed my little dots, my glue dots, and I just put my sprigs on the glue dots. And applied them over each of the leaves. Now the one thing I haven't stamped yet is our sentiment. I'm going to stamp it with Versamark, use white embossing powder, and apply it and heat emboss it. Because that is, I think, about the only way you're going to get anything to show up on this lovely dark blue. I am thrilled with the new in colors. So, my happy anniversary stamp on a rather dirty block. Sorry about that. Stamped on down. Just hold it, make sure it gets transferred. And it's a little bit darker. I don't know if you can see, but you can tell it's all stamped. And here's my lid. Remember that you store your Versamark and your Memento ink, I'm already inky, upside down. Our ink pads automatically flip so that the pad's upside down. But these you do need to store it, actually flip them yourself. And the reason, then you've got your ink right up at the surface, which is a good thing. Here's my white Stampin' Emboss powder. And I just sprinkle a little on. You can use, some people use typing paper to put this in. Some people use coffee filters. I have a friend who uses coffee filters. I must have touched this a little bit. See if I can get a little bit off. I don't want it too splotchy. So there it is, ready to go. Here's the key. Before you open up your embossing powder, you close your Versamark. It is not a good thing to have a powder on your Versamark. I use this little tray, which is nice. The second thing is you put your powder away with the top on before you take it over and do the heat embossing, because it'll blow everywhere. Not a good thing. And again, because I could, yay, I have it all done. So what I did was I put seal on the back, and I didn't follow my seal rule. Okay, so seal is really easy to use. I really like it, but it needs to break right here at the top. And if it doesn't, then you might have to roll it by hand or run it on, you can run it on your silicone mat. That'll get it moving. I don't like it on my fingers. So I try to lift it straight up so it breaks in the perfect spot so it's ready to go next time. So what I did was I grabbed my ribbon scissors and I just put one across. Gave myself plenty of room. And I crossed one, sticking them in that seal. And I'll trim those off a little bit when it's done. And here is a third one. And then I put dimensionals on it. This is the one thing I decided really needed to be lifted up because it's going over the top. And I'm using my black dimensionals. And do you notice that I really like to take my dimensionals out of the middle, which is a little strange? How do you take your dimensionals off? Oh, thank you, Joy. And thank you, Jackie. Okay, dimensionals. you really have to put them in the garbage can or they will be everywhere. On the dog, on your shoes. And then I just place this over the top in about the middle. Oh, kind of messed up my ends here. And there's our card. It is done. A little trim. And this mesh does stretch out a little bit, but it seemed like a lot of work for not a lot of stretch to me. So I decided just to leave it as it is, but I'll show you. So you can pull it out a little bit. I didn't find that it stayed well out. So I decided to leave it like it was. So there's our card. The Joyfold card using the sun prints looks like our sample. And because I had my sentiments mixed up, and as I was designing, the card changed a little bit. This is about the same. I used it on gray granite. Oh, I forgot my bling. Oh, we can't have that. My goodness, bling is important. I just put on 3 little dots. One up in the corner. And 2 in the opposite corner. Makes a nice little triangle, which is pleasing to the eyes. And you know I do like my bling. So here's the one that I made with basically the same, just a different sentiment. Here's one without the gold foil. And so I think you could certainly do this. I thought it was pretty. And I used my favorite ribbon, the metallic mesh, on this one. I just tied a knot and adhered the knot to my sentiment. It was fun. And here I used different papers, and there's no gold. There's no silver foil. So I was having fun with that. And then, because I was having fun with the Starry Night, which obviously is now my favorite color. Okay, let's keep this one out. I did it with another set. And I've been wanting to play with a tea boutique. And so, here's our envelope with our little teapots. And I used the glimmer paper. I used the, there, isn't that pretty? 2 different designer series papers. I thought it needed more teapots, so I put them on the inside. And who could not want to get a card that says, it's time for tea? And I don't think you can see it. But to add to the glimmer, I put a little wink of Stella on these leaves, and on inside each of these little openings, it sparkles and there's wink of Stella. And I used the ribbon as my string for the tea bag. So I hope you enjoyed my card. I will have the pictures posted. Remember, Shirley explained that depending on what device you're on, you'll look for different things. When I'm on my laptop, I look for media, and then I have to choose albums. But we've got our pictures all there. There'll be links. It's going to take me a few minutes to get my links up, but I'll get that in, and I'll also get a picture of the dimensions. So I am the last demonstrator, as I mentioned. I'm going to do the official sign-off, and I will clean my space up a little bit, reset up my computer, and I will be back in just a few minutes for that. Thank you very much for coming and I enjoyed chatting. Oh, until I'm back on again, happy crafting.